Good evening from Newsroom South East. All day from all quarters of London, we've been hearing stories of missing relatives, desperate phone calls and the agony of just not knowing. The images of the planes crashing into the World Trade Center have been repeated hundreds of times on our TV screens. And in the last few minutes, more destruction with the collapse of yet more buildings in Manhattan. The sense of shock just won't go away. At the centre of it all, the American expats, who all seem to have their own connection to the disaster.
A moment to grieve with others who share the same sense of loss. Tonight's service at the American church was open for all, but mostly it was for US citizens to come together to pray and reflect on the enormous loss of life in their homeland.
It's emotionally draining to be with people and walk with them through their grieving. This waiting period especially is so difficult. Not knowing is so difficult.
Many, including those who work here, are waiting anxiously for information about relatives in the US.
I have made phone calls, I've left messages, and I've had no answer.
But some have received the news they've been praying for. Tom LaPointe's wife, Kimberly, was due on board one of the ill-fated flights from Boston to Los Angeles. She failed to make the plane, a delay that saved her life.
Obviously, my concern turned to our friends who... I lived in New York City for many years, and we have friends at Morgan Stanley, Cantor Fitzgerald, Dean Witter. All those people have offices in the trade tower, and while I know their numbers at work, I can't call them at work.
Like people the world over, London's Arab community has been trying to make sense of events across the Atlantic. The shock bridges all cultures.
Everyone comes together a little more than you would normally, just because everyone's involved.
As the days gone on, the American embassy has become a focus for people to pay their respects. For some, it's a chance to be among those who understand their sense of horror.
You want to be there so badly with everyone, but at the same time you're happy that you're not there and in the middle of it all.
The coming days will no doubt bring more scenes like these. What follows now is a long and agonising wait as one by one people discover what's become of their loved ones. Andrew Webb, Newsroom South East, Central London.
Ken Livingstone has backed police moves to step up security here in London and offered to send members of the capital's emergency services to help the rescue mission. And the head of the London Fire Brigade has written to his opposite number in New York to express sympathy and support for rescuers who've lost up to 300 colleagues. The LFB Commissioner, Brian Robinson, says the response from London stations has been overwhelming, with offers of operational support and donations for the families of the victims. And as Lainey Malkani reports, one firefighter from New York is finding comfort in a central London fire station.
It's very frustrating not to be there. If I could hire my own plane, I would be there, but obviously as a fireman and as a fire officer, knowing that my comrades are under the rubble, it's very frustrating indeed.
And all he can do is wait. Yesterday he arrived at Soho Fire Brigade in a daze after being turned away at Heathrow Airport. He had nowhere else to go.
I took a cab from Paddington Station and told the mate in the cab that I had some friends in the Soho Fire Station. And I knocked on the door, and the guys here just took me in as another brother firefighter. So they put together this little bunk here for me, and it's like a home away from home. I mean, the guys have been really great.
The men from Red Watch are his family now, and they share his grief and concern as the horrifying events unfold.
And they're missing as well.
And I just think of the all the guys I know in this area. You know, all the guys that were firemen in my area and became officers and are scattered through this area of Manhattan working. And you know, if they're in there, I just don't know.
Stranded in London, his only contact has been his wife, who calls him regularly.
I told him that the captain has spoken to the deputy, and the deputy knows that I'm stuck in London.
Bill says he's been shown the camaraderie of an organisation that describes itself as a brotherhood.
Just when we saw it collapse, we sort of feared the worst for them, really. That's why we tried to get hold of Bill straight away.
We're just totally stunned at the moment. Our hearts go out to them all, really.
It could be several days before Bill returns to New York. In the meantime, it seems he'll be well looked after. Lainey Malkani, Newsroom South East.
And if, like Captain Bill Mulcahy, you're stranded and you need help finding accommodation, you can call our helpline. The number is 08000 68 70 60. That's 08000 68 70 60. You'll find the lines are open until midnight tonight. And all the details you need are on our website. That's bbc.co.uk/London Live. We're working in partnership with the London Tourist Board to give you up-to-the-minute information on what's available. You can also use our website to find access to our condolence book and our message boards. We've had an amazing series of messages today from our viewers. June in Clapham said New York was and still will be the most fantastic city I've ever visited. Our thoughts are with you. Do log on to that website if you'd like to join and send your messages. Just a quick reminder that airports in the southeast are asking passengers to turn up early as extra security checks are causing a lot of delays. No flights are leaving for America and Canada. At Heathrow, all British Airways flights to Israel are grounded. Extra security checks are delaying flights at Stansted by 45 minutes, and City Airport remains closed. That's all from me tonight. Mike's back tomorrow with the main stories in the southeast in breakfast. From the late team, good night.